Order. Commissioner Sutton, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item, we have the approval of the agenda. Any corrections, updates?
Move. Second.
Moved by Weiss, second by Sutton to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're going to just wait a few minutes. Dirk, did he say how long? He's a little late.
No, but he's gonna get here as soon as he can.
So do we just wait a little bit? I think we probably
Yeah,
need
we
to
can
have
go
him.
through my list,
Okay.
or possibly move up Erica and Roxy a little bit.
Why don't we do yours and see if Dirk is showing up by that time?
We have minutes from January 19th, 2021.
Move. Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Sutton to approve the general meeting minutes of January 19th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Weiss to approve claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
Second. Moved by Weiss, second by Fikert to approve the HR report.
I'm going to abstain from voting. My nephew is on the list, so I'm not going to vote.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with Sutton abstaining.
Plat.
Move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to approve the plats. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Set hearing date for rezone ordinances. We have two mini-egg rezones.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Kipley to set the hearing date for rezone ordinances. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Leases.
Move.
Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to approve the leases. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Abatement.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Sutton to approve the abatements. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Rangeland fire designation.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley to approve the rangeland fire designation. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Landfill cell 4 construction grant.
Move. Moved by Fikert, second by Weiss to approve the landfill cell 4 construction grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Sheriff's vehicle request.
Move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to approve the sheriff's vehicle purchase. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Q4 interest.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Kipley to approve the Q4 interest. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is that everything you had, Kathy?
Yep, that is everything we had this week.
Okay. I hate to hold the gentleman up, but I think Dirk should probably be here for the bid opening. Did he say where he was at, or what, is he on his way?
No, I didn't take the call. He's on his way. He just said he'd be a few minutes late, so.
Okay.
He didn't get caught in a snowbank somewhere, did he?
Shouldn't have been.
Because he's in Huron County.
Erica, can we go forward with yours first?
Yeah, we can call Roxy if you
She's
want.
here.
She's here. Oh, is she? Okay.
she's here.
Yeah, you can go ahead and find her.
Why don't we just move that up, and hopefully Dirk will be here within the next 5 minutes, and we'll...
Perfect. I'm here.
Next, we have a little bit early, Roxy and Erica with HR, and Roxy with welfare, talk about personnel.
Okay, good morning. Well, Roxy and I are coming to you today. You guys had approved a part-time person for my office to do the payroll and the bills, and I got one application for that position. So I went down and talked to Roxy. I said, Roxy, I know you're a single department also. Would you be willing to split a person if we were able to get a full-time person for part my office, part her office? So that way, if Roxy's gone for an extended period of time, she's able to have somebody cover her office, and if I'm gone for an extended period of time, I have somebody to cover my office, but yet we also have somebody to do the payroll and the bills also. And so we are coming to you guys with that request today, is to hire a full-time employee. It doesn't have to be 40 hours a week, it could be a minimum of 32 hours a week. That way they're still benefits eligible, but if we need them for up to 40 hours a week, then we can do that also. So we would get them mainly situated in my office to be able to do the payroll and the bills. Once they're comfortable, I can send them down to Roxy's office, and they can learn Roxy's side of things. And that way, if something were to happen, or Roxy's gone...
I would say mostly, like if I'm on vacation or ill, not for like one day, but if it's an extended, that's the only time I would really need somebody down there.
Do a 2-3 day blizzard.
Yeah, that's a fun place to start.
Yeah.
Somebody to cover your mail.
Yeah.
We know where we live.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you're
Well-
anticipating the applicant that you got, or are they not interested, or are you gonna have to re-advertise?
I will re-put it out there and
Okay.
redo the job description, so it's going to be part HR stuff. It would be mostly what I had on the part-time job application. Our job description would be the human resource piece of it, but I would add the welfare piece of it to it also.
Okay.
And
then
redo
we
the
could
job
kinda
description.
Split the wage.
Well, in the past, I think we've learned that it's dangerous to have one person only in an office, such as you. You have no control, Erica, if you're going to be sick or what's going to happen. Well, if it happens to be that day when it's payroll, what happens? We end up in a mess. Well, same thing with you, Roxy. You can't predict if your
Yeah.
health is going to have problems or you're going to, what's going to
Yeah.
happen. Now we got nobody in welfare. So I like the idea of having the cross between the two offices where we've got one person that can do two jobs.
And right now, there is no one that can cover my office, so it only makes sense that there should be somebody there who can at least cover the minimum, the basics, if I'm out.
Yeah, and there are occasions for, multiple day training or conferences and things like that.
Yeah.
You can get on the same, but that person can at least cover the phones and
Right.
Yeah, we have a
Check
place
the
to
mail
transfer
and
them if we need to.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking you'd split the salary out of the two budgets. That'd be perfect.
So is this half-time person the piece that would be in welfare on top of Chris Heeman helping you scan? So it'd actually be 2 full people there in the winter?
Well, Chris is doing really well scanning. He will easily get done with everything I need by the end of the year.
And
So-
before he goes back to, in May?
Well,
April?
he'll have a good chunk of it done by the time he goes to weed this spring, and then if he comes back this fall, I don't know if he'll be there till the end of the year, depends on how it goes, but he's really making good progress, so.
I'll bet you the state's attorney's office will take him if...
Yeah, I'm sure they
Roxy's
will.
done.
they will.
I'm sure they will.
That's the kind of thing, once you get into a groove, it's amazing how fast you can pull through those.
I guess my
Yeah.
question is, when he goes back to do his thing, if we come across budgeting again, will this person also jump in as needed and finish the scanning you need done?
They could, they could.
Because I think this body in December already authorized your part-time. So in essence, what we're deciding right now is if we're doing another part-time to make this a full-time position.
Well, I think the other thing that goes with that is there was very little interest in the part-time. I think by going to 32 hours and giving people the option of having health insurance and retirement is going to make the difference of trying to get the quality of person we're looking at. And we also realize that something has to happen in welfare. We're going to end up with a problem, whether it be 6 months or a year or 3 years down the road. We better cover it. So I think that's the big thing, is you're trying to get somebody in. When you advertise part-time, you eliminate a lot of people because they need benefits.
And I understand that, but I also, in essence, we have to remember that this is the taxpayer money growing government by another position. If it's needed, that's one thing, and I agree with you. I can see where you're coming from, but we very seldom get rid of positions in the county. We grow them, and most people in this county don't want to see government grow.
Well, in going to that side of things, Roxy was the full-time person. She took over for Cliff. So welfare initially cut that full-time person out of there. So welfare had a full-time person before Roxy was in her position. And then in my position, there was a full-time person prior to the part-time person that was there when Gary was in the office. So we essentially lost a full-time in HR and then a part-time in HR because they transitioned from full-time to part-time, and then Roxy lost a full-time.
But some of those duties were also alleviated and went into auditor's office. So
Correct.
it's not like,
I will say though, we got stretched a little thin with everything we took on.
but that was your choice to increase salary and take the position out.
It was.
Just like state's attorney, just like a lot of departments, it's like, we want to do more with less people so we can increase the salaries, and that's fine, but we just got to remember how we got where we're at.
But the one in welfare wasn't replaced.
I know that,
So-
I know that, but because of some of the things going on in welfare, some of the work was kind of pushed aside too.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying I don't agree with that, it's just something
Yeah.
I think we need to consider as we give a yes or no, and I guess I'm not ready to say yes right now. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, I just want to give it some thought.
So what are we talking, additional revenue expenses for, I'm sorry, what's it gonna cost to put this person in? If we were gonna go half-time for HR, so now we find somebody for 32 hours, what are we talking difference in a year's time?
That I'd have to sit down and calculate because it would depend on experience, what we would get. The one application that we did get doesn't have the experience there for the benefits and for the payroll side of it. So hopefully getting someone into this position, the part-time person that was in HR was around $19 an hour. And then the two full-time positions that were in HR were around $22 to $24 an hour. So it would all depend on experience.
This isn't actually a 50-50 split. I mean, we're not talking 50% welfare, it's probably more 70-30.
Yeah.
70% HR, 30% welfare, because what Roxy, the only thing we're looking to cover welfare in case there's an emergency, that she gets sick or is gone for 5 days,
Yeah.
well, you've got people who need applications. Who's gonna do the application?
Right.
It'd be just nice to have somebody come from HR to be able to go down and do that position. I mean, we're not talking a split of 50-50 here.
We had actually talked about 75-25.
Yeah.
Both these departments are in the general fund, so
Mhm.
it's all out of the same.
Well, the nice thing about the proposal at first blush is usually, as you covered, it's not a lot, but it's easier to try and fill a full-time position, even if it's not 40 hours. And it's difficult if you can't justify an FTE, but you need some assistance in a department to find a good match for a share. And I think this is a pretty good potential match in order to get to an FTE, both to fill the position with somebody who's higher qualified and is more motivated and has more invested in and has a better opportunity, for benefits and things like that, and then to cover on a flexible basis. So, at first blush, I think it's a pretty good proposal.
And I look at kind of the confidentiality side of things on how confidential my office has to be and then also Roxy's office. So that's another
Very similar
thing.
environment.
Yes, correct.
Well, I just hate to see the county get backed into a corner and end up, I mean, I don't want to add on more employees and more cost either, but on the other hand, you get backed in a corner and miss somebody for 2 or 3 weeks and start piling the workload up. When
Chairman made a
somebody's
good
in
point. I'm sorry. Chairman made a good point. Payroll is an important thing that needs to get covered properly. Can't get behind on that.
It's never easy to add on
I do
employees.
like the idea of the cross-training, and I think we need to be doing more of that between the departments, so I do like that idea.
So I don't look at it as actually as adding an additional employee when you're doing 75-25 split.
But they will be benefits now, so it is an employee.
Well, it's the added benefit of a full-time position as opposed to a part-time position, so yes.
But we didn't have any applicants with the part-time either. So, I mean, you gotta look at all the particulars. I think it's a big benefit, but that's my thought. There's 4 other thoughts laid on the table.
Are you wanting to vote on this today, or are you putting it in HR in the report next week?
Well, it's gonna be 2-3 weeks before you advertise to see what you get. I mean, it's...
Roxy, no offense, but I wish we could get rid of the welfare department.
So do I. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening.
If you can't fill the position, it's a moot point, so.
I guess the thing is, do you advertise it, make the decision, and see what your applicants are? Maybe we don't get any applicants again, then what?
Then you don't fill it, or you try again.
I'd make a motion that we authorize advertising for the full-time position that's been proposed.
Second.
We have a motion from Sutton, a second from Ruiz to advertise for a full-time position split between HR and welfare. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Advertise and see what we get for applicants and take it from there.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rogers.
Time's up. Sorry for the delay, but we have Dirk with highway bid opening for gravel, milling, hot mix, rental equipment, and road oil.
Morning, Dirk.
Howdy. Retreat.
Yeah. Are those in, did we advertise them in order? Do we have to open them in a certain order?
No, we can open them in any order.
Okay. All right.
Do you need
Take one of
assistance?
those and pass it around. Not with this, I don't.
Are these
What's that
special
date on
But
it?
the rest of my life, I do pretty much. No, if you got me a letter opener, we can figure it out.
You can afford new pens.
Consultant that got bought out and changed their name, so you get the old ones.
I've been trying to find a couple more of those. I want whatever's left. I love them.
Did they come out of the highway budget?
No, not like everything else does, but these didn't.
Not that he's bitter about it.
He's almost over it.
Thank you. All I got was 2?
Yeah, well, I'll
Hey,
find
all
you
I got
some
was
more.
one.
Thanks.
Wait for another company to get bought out, and you can have their old stuff.
I like these.
Let's do the hot mix and the road oil. I'm anticipating should be straightforward. I need a pencil. So let's go with, where are we at? Which page? Let's go with hot mix first.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Do you have an extra packet?
yeah, we got more here. I handed out the wrong.
What did I,
It's a packet because there's 5 bid openings. So your packet...
There's the hot mix, really generic.
Oh, I see what's going on. Here's all the gravel.
Yeah, just take one.
Oh, I thought these were...
So there we go.
I guess I misunderstood.
This is gravel?
And then when they're, got road oil, hot mix, and gravel material.
we got
Gravel.
3 different, yeah, we're gonna open rental equipment, but I didn't give you a bid tab because
Hot mix.
Apples and oranges.
we're doing hot mix first, right? Do hot mix first. All right. Hot mix and road oil should only have a handful of participants, so.
we got the last year's price on the bottom.
All right, so we're gonna open asphalt concrete plant mix, which I'm kind of excited about. It's sort of like Christmas because I made the budget last May, and so now I get to actually find out
I got
How close you were.
how much we're gonna get to do
hot
here.
mix and gravel.
See who's got a crystal
Is there
ball.
another?
Yeah.
Should be 3 sheets.
3 sheets.
Okay.
You missing one, Kathy?
No?
Okay. Okay, so what I said we're doing first? Hot mix. Hot mix. This one's in the wrong envelope. I got a bid from Jensen's. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Good. You? Good. I won't comment on hiring more people for the county, so we have bigger government.
That's right.
Go ahead.
How many did you want again? 5?
I'm down 16 from when I started, so. Our first bid's coming from Jensen's. It's for Class D Type 2. I don't even know if we got this on here. Yep, that's first. Is that the first one? Yep. $63.15.
15 cents.
Been waiting for the price increase the last few years, and there it is. So that's about a $4 or $5 jump from last year. Type 1 is $63.15 as well. Be right next to it on the top line. Doesn't look like they bid cold mix. Or, excuse me, I'm sorry, yes they did, 120 for cold mix a ton.
Type 2?
They're both the same, they're both Type 1 and Type 2 are 120 for cold mix. we've got quite a cottage industry selling that to other counties and other cities, and, okay. I'm really good with paper stuff.
What was the cold mix?
120 a ton for both of them. This one's from Leans. Jeez, too much coffee. Which one, do you guys call each other? I always wonder how you're 10 cents apart, but Leans is 63.
Even?
Even.
That's 15 cents.
Not their first bid.
That's exactly how much it costs to drive from one plant to the other. And they didn't bid cold mix.
So they're the same on type 2 and type 1?
Yeah, they're both 63. I'm just curious here quick. So we've got $1.5 million in there for asphalt next year. And at 63 bucks a ton, that's 23,900 tons we'll buy, and I need through 33,000, so we're about 8,000 tons short. We'll figure it out. Plus patch mix.
There goes some of our COVID money.
Yep. Just setting my base for later in the year, you guys.
You said you had how much budgeted for this year?
$1.5 million, and it should be about 24,000 tons. And not one of it's going on 13A out of Richmond either, just so you know.
Jeez. Since you brought that I will comment.
Get on the agenda for the next.
I will comment, you got a great weight guy out there.
Yeah,
He does a good job.
we've also upped the frequency. You know, that road gets stopped.
Yeah, here, poke the bear.
He's on my side. I'm not worried. Okay, that's all I got, I think, for, this should be with the gravel.
All among friends. They have 2 sheets of this.
Okay.
All right.
I would recommend that we award the asphalt based on availability and location.
Move it.
Second. Moved by Kipling, second by Pfeiffer.
Kathy, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna just take all this stuff and I'll bring it back up here later today.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
And we'll make copies and bring you the other stuff. Okay. Sorry, Doug.
To accept the hot mix bid of based on availability. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Good question.
Yep.
What does it show for aggregate in both of those?
What does what?
What do we get spec for aggregate in both of those?
I gotta look. Class D is an older spec. Maybe Steve can answer that. What are you saying, like the size or?
Just what
What it is? It's all, Class D is all natural.
Okay.
Natural rock. Not necessarily, what class is the granite?
Well, Class G, but Class E has a certain percent fracture face. This still has 50% fracture faces in it.
Yeah, it all meets specs, but I was just curious.
One.
Yeah, so this would be natural rock, and we do get some recycle from them. Aggregate, that's in there.
Okay.
And there's not that much difference in the gradations. The big difference is in one fracture face versus 2 fracture faces.
Right.
But it's quality. I mean,
Yeah,
it's good
no, that's
material.
good. So, just curious. Thanks.
Yep. Okay, road oil. We got one bid from Jebro. Good Lord. fries in a package in it.
Hermetically sealed.
No kidding.
Oh, okay.
You know, she didn't write last year's prices on there, and this is in tons, so I would have to figure it out, but, so for MC 70, cutback is 802.61 per ton, and that's gonna be about 802, a little over $3 a ton, or a gallon is what it'll come out to. That's a little bit higher than last year. I see she didn't write them on here. MC 3000 cutback, that's what we use for chip sealing. That's $6.18 a ton. And that's probably about 20 cents higher than last year, but not too bad. And emulsion CSS 1H is $4.84 a ton. 484.85 a ton. So those are a little bit higher than last year, but not, you know, it's probably 4 or 5%. I'll double check when I get back to office. But I'd recommend awarding the road oil to Jebro.
Move it.
Okay.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weeds, to authorize the road oil bids to Jebro. Had a little tough time there.
It's like
All in-
stripping and striping.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
They see how good their crystal ball is.
Striping. You ever gonna forget that?
Nope. Nope. But every time I write that, I have to stop and say it a couple times and look at it, make sure I'm putting striping, not stripping.
Well, that's a lot of
that would-
correspondence, you include stripping in?
Yeah.
See, that's what happened up on County Road 10 where I live. I thought it was striping you were
So
gonna do,
you
but no,
you thought it was
stripped
stripping, we stripped it, yep. This is milling reclaiming equipment. This is usually on the rental equipment one. So you'll just have to jot this down on the back or something. I didn't bring a list for it, or a bid tab for it. I forgot to bid this a couple years ago. This should have been in with the regular rental equipment, so now it's kind of been floating out there on its own when we do it every year. Gene? How are you? You just go ahead and pass those around if you don't.
Looks like you got pictures up, or do you?
We got one bid from Louisa.
From who?
From Louisa, the ones that usually do it with us.
Can you spell that, George?
L-O-U, no, wait a minute. L-O-I-S-E-A-U.
L-O-I-S-E-A-U?
Yeah, just like it looks, Louisa. Okay, so this has got a bunch of different stuff here. For the grind, just to come in and grind, 65 cents a square yard. And then a 1,500 mob goes with that when they move in.
How much?
1,500.
15.
So, like, if you're gonna have them just grind a mile, it'd be 65 times 14,000 plus one, you know, plus 1,500 is about what it comes to.
They're out of where? Minnesota?
Flanders.
Flanders,
Yeah,
okay.
they're
Okay.
a giant company that's been around forever.
Okay.
They just, they've only been doing this for a handful of years. Then the next one is grind it with the layback. That's $1 per square yard and 2,500 for the mold. The mold's higher because on the layback they're bringing blades and other equipment with them. And then if you're gonna inject chemical, you gotta pay for the chemical, but they'll inject the chemical for $1.05 a square yard and 2,500 to move in. And that would be would be what we would call full depth reclamation, all that stuff I said there. That's when you're grinding the whole thing up, all the way down.
Is that similar to what happened on Richmond Road? No.
And then the other thing they bid is milling. Now, we kind of use them interchangeably, but milling is when you're just going to go down and take out a set depth. So you're going to mill off 2 inches. But if you're going to grind the whole thing, technically it's full depth reclamation, but we kind of use them interchangeably. So 3 to 6 inches or whatever. Yep. And then this is also the process in there where we inject the chemical for stabilization into the road bed too. So that's our only bidder on that. I would recommend awarding the
So move.
milling and grinding to Louisa.
Got a motion by Piper, a second by Kifley to award the milling and grinding to Louisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Everybody keeping up okay? Wade, you needed something to do today probably anyway, did I? I thought so. Okay, now these are gonna be a pain in the butt. All right, get out your gravel sheet. We're gonna see here about, I'll see how bad this is, how many there are. If we can do it all and read them all quick now, we'll do it, but, we'll see here. Otherwise, we might have to just kind of make a bid tab and come back. All right, so this is gravel materials. First one's from Jensen's. You must not have put any of their gravel on the, well, we'll see what they're bidding here. Okay, so go to P-Rock on page 2, I believe. Yep. Jensen's in there at Ortley plant, $550 for P-Rock's what they got.
And this is all per ton basis?
Yep.
That was Jensen's Ortley.
Jensen's at Ortley, yep.
Do you want me to put those back together for you?
What?
Do you want me to put those back together?
No, because I got this all messed up already. I got to go home and sort it out. But thank you.
You're welcome.
So when you buy off state bids, can townships buy off these prices?
Yep. Yep. Anything we're doing today, they can buy off of. The gravel's usually better than they want, and the price sometimes can get them, but... Oh, Jeff Hall Pit.
He's not on here.
Well, yeah, he hasn't bid for the last so many years because of the hot plant being in there. He couldn't make enough gravel to keep the hot plant going and then sell. So he was kind of limited on that, so he's bidding it this year. So $8 per ton, that's at the Hall Pit up there. You'll have to write him in, he's not on here.
And that's for which
I'm sorry,
material?
that's for just,
Base course?
yep, 1 inch.
1 inch base course.
And it was how much again? I'm sorry.
$8.
And who is that?
That's Jeff Hall at the Hall Pit. Used to like the $2.25 gravel days, that was better.
Keep digging in those envelopes.
Next one's from Binky.
For which material?
I'll see here, he'll probably be just 1 inch and 3/4. He's the top of the list there. What the hell?
He's under pit run too, so that's why I was...
Oh, yeah. Okay. You've got 3/4 inch gravel is $4. Same 4-inch, or $4 for 1-inch. $3 for pit run, down there under pit run, in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm gonna read off the rest of these, you can jot them down. I don't have slots for them on here. And then we'll put them in the bid tab if we're gonna use any of this. But he's got a variety of things here, riprap for $9, boulders for $8.
Is that per ton?
Yeah, these would all be per ton. Maybe it's per boulder, I don't know. No, it's per ton. Clay is $10. Dirty rock is $4. We use that with our stripping, Doug, the dirty rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pit run is $3.
$3.
Say that again?
Oh, yeah, you already got that in
Oh, I'm
there.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sand, $4. That's everything.
Boulders are $8.
Yeah. Well, his gravel's only $4, so.
That doesn't include sandblasting or address on it?
When it comes to the boulder versus a big rock.
Probably a fine.
I guess boulder's what you fancy people put in front of your house out by the road, out there.
Yeah.
And rocks are what I donated and still at Columbia.
I'm gonna do Hanlon's next.
Boulders are what Wiley Coyote always drops on
Yeah.
the road runner.
Hey, I forgot about you.
They were using Wile E. Coyote for example in the MSHA training the other day about fall protection. You know, you tie off before you fall over the cliff. Okay, this is Hanlon's, and this would be up at the Water Pit, which we kind of don't go up there very often anymore, but $7.
3/4 inch?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry, that's 1 inch. He didn't give a bid on the 3/4.
Ooh.
And then Hanlon Brothers at the Verdon stockpile, which is the third line down there, is $11.10 a ton.
For 3/4 or 1?
That's for 3/4.
Say that again?
$11.10. $11.10. So you can go up the hill 9 miles east of there and beat your trucks up and down the hill for $4.10. Or you can let them beat their trucks up and buy it for $11 down along Highway 37. That's why it's bid that way. So we don't have to go up the hill.
What
if we
item
don't
was
want
that
to.
for?
That would be for Hanlon Brothers,
3/4
$20,000
down, 4-inch gravel.
at Verdon Brothers. And then
Per
Second line
is
is
1
zero,
inch.
that's 11 to them.
Okay. I had that written.
Right? That's what you said?
the Water Pit is 1 inch. The Verdon stockpile,
Just 3/4.
well, it can be either one, either 1 inch or 3/4 on the spec. And then seal aggregate under pea gravel on the second page there. Hanlon's at Verdon is 21 a ton.
That's a terrific difference.
All right, and Jacobs? Okay, 1 inch gravel at the Ryberg pit, which is the third one down in the right column there, is $8.90. The S Ranch right below that is $7.25. These are all 1 inch. Gunther Pit, $8.80. J Pit, just kind of up towards the top there, $8.45. Then McPherson County at the top there, it's $5.20.
They're cheap up there.
Everything's cheap if you drive 50 miles. And Liquor Pit, $7. Now that one's a mile from the 520 pit, so there's a $1.80 difference there. Flackle Pit by Forbes, that's $7. Pit Run at the J Pit, $6.10. That's the first one there in the bottom left where the pit run is.
How much is that, 610?
$6.10.
Where exactly is the J Pit? Is that Jacob's Pit?
Just north here,
Yeah.
just out by Fisher's.
Yeah.
Flackle Pit for 1.5 inch crushed rock, $15.90. $15.90. And then they threw in a price into the shop yard, Brown County shop yard. So $16.80 delivered to the shop.
So we can move again.
That was for the 1.5 crushed rock?
Nope, I'm sorry, the 1 inch base, that's a gravel too, 1 inch base course.
The 1 inch base delivered,
Yep,
and that was $16.90?
$16.80.
16, thank you.
Yep. Oh, there's more. Jot these down, but these are technically rental equipment. Or, I'm not sure here, because he's giving me a price for crushing.
Does Jacobs not have any 3/4 surface gravel listed?
No, just 1 inch.
Okay.
It's cheaper to make, you don't have to break it down as much. So we've got crushing equipment per ton, natural rock, 3/4 inch is $3.51 a ton.
And that's by who?
That's by Jacobs to come and crush. He will come and crush for that much per ton.
What was the tonnage again?
351.
$3.51.
Per ton crushing.
Yep.
$3.51 a ton.
Yep, $3.51 a ton for 3/4 inch.
In our yard or his location or?
This is like if we're gonna get a gravel pit and hire a crusher to come in.
Okay, there's no mobilization, it's just
No,
whatever the...
it's
okay.
per ton. So,
Okay.
like if we were gonna put in, we don't have any pits. We've got one pit we would do this in. I'm assuming he's getting a bid on this so he can use it, like you said, somewhere else, because we haven't crushed since 2003, I don't think.
Mhm.
But, so if we were gonna have them crushed, we'd go up to the Dinger Pit, which has really high clay content, so they don't like crushing in there.
Mhm.
And we would pay them $3.51 a ton, and we would have to pay Dingers whatever our royalty is up there,
Material.
like $2.25. And so now we're up to 5 something sitting in the pit.
Mhm.
Still there, haul it.
Right, and I still gotta haul it, where I can go 26 miles east of there and buy it from Binky in a pile for $4 and pull out on a state highway.
Mhm.
So it's just all the different combinations.
Sure.
A whole bunch of counties do it this way. Over Yeardway in Watertown, the What's his name? God dang it. Who's the guy in Watertown that's been crushing? Brownlee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does a whole bunch of counties and out West River. This is just isn't something that, you know, it's easier for us because we've got all these bids and all these
Just put
bids
the number
around.
up on the board for
Yep.
everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe something will come up
Mm-hmm.
and we'll need it, but anyway, so jot that down. 341 for 1 inch and 351 for 3/4. Well, that wasn't so bad, so I would recommend that we award all the gravel bids based on location and availability.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Piker, to accept the gravel bids based on the availability and location. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, rental equipment. You don't even have a sheet for it. Because there's just a list. Yeah. Sort it out. So what I'll do is I'll just touch on a few, oh crap, I knew this was gonna happen, I got another bid here for gravel materials from LG Everest.
About a bid in for Webster scale and drop them out of that window.
Is it for gravel?
No, it's rental.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. It would be in this one, probably.
Everest, you said?
Yeah, this will be LG Everest. It's
Pea gravel?
It's gonna be pea gravel, 540 per ton at Summit. And then why don't you jot behind there, 2-inch river rock. $13.75 a ton. And that would be comparable to, I mean, the use of that would be comparable to the use of this 1.5-inch crushed rock from up at, you know, on the front page, Jacobs has that. Those are sort of two things we use the same way.
What was the original price for the gravel on that one, excuse me?
For the
LG.
LG Everest, it's the P rock, it'd be 540.
Thank you.
Yep. And then they'd be a 2-inch river rock at $13.75. Okay, now we're done with gravel. Kathy, get another envelope.
I'm gonna need some money, Derek. Got me in the highway shop, I'll take them.
Yeah, I got a few I'll scribble out what's written on them and bring them up.
Recycle, huh?
Okay, rental equipment. First one's from RDO. And like I said, yeah, use your other sheets if you want to, but we'll get a big tab together by the end of the day that'll have all the rental equipment on it, where I will not be recommending to award these right now without going through them all. Good Lord. I think I opened it with a chainsaw. All right. This is from RDO, and it is, if you go to the last page, oh, you don't have it, it's our recycling crusher. It's $32,500 a month.
32.5?
Yep. Only, this year we're probably renting for about 2 months, I'm expecting.
What was it, how much was it?
$32,500
Per month.
per month.
$1,000 a day.
Yep.
You can't be letting it sit around too much.
You
Nope.
do that in March, not February.
Yeah.
You do it in the dead of winter. Do it when it's cold as possible so that the asphalt stays crunchy.
It goes through better.
Yeah, when it's hot, you try doing
Just
it.
like grinding hay. 30 below, it goes through the best.
This is from Hanlon's. I'm just gonna tell you what they got. They've got a couple excavators on here, One's a long reach, one's not, for 185 up to 220 an hour. These are all per hour. Volvo loader for 130 an hour. And 40-ton trucks for 135.
40 ton?
Yeah, that'd be a truck and a pup.
How much?
145. 135, I'm sorry, 135, 40 ton. B&B. Wow. So, stuff,
Holy moly.
just a whole list of everything. You got dozers, 150 to 185, excavators, 145 to 250, loaders, 125 to 150, scrapers, motor graders, compaction equipment, off-road trucks, sheet pile hammers, everything. We'll make a full list of everything and get a bid tab out.
What's their
Anybody?
truck,
Go
what's their
ahead.
truck with a pup?
Like what?
Do they have
Oh,
the truck with the 40 ton?
they got 44 ton, they're at 175 for 44 ton. Is there anybody in the room that wants a specific number read as far as that goes? Because I don't want to go through all these.
He'll post all of it.
Yeah, it'll take us, and don't start calling the office right away, but by the end of the day, Cindy will have the whole thing put together, so it'll be okay. Anything exciting going on in the county today? You tell us. I was just worried about this. I didn't get much sleep last night.
This is our excitement, right here.
I thought my life was boring. This one's from Jacobs. Kind of the same story, whole bunch of stuff. Dozers, excavators, loaders, scrapers. His, since we're talking about the 40-ton trucking thing for kind of a barometer, his 40-ton truck is 160.
160.
Yep, and then they do have a 49 to like a 50-ton setup for 175. But we'll get it all put together. DMI. This is going to be for a monthly rental of a loader. God dang it. And the reason we have monthly rental from a loader from them is
Grant one.
well, the used one that we're gonna bid here, and I don't know whenever that got set, February 9th or whatever, that's what it's spec'd around the one we were renting. So, but in order to make sure, because we spent $80-some thousand on rent last year, you gotta go over the $50,000 limit when you do that, so you gotta get a bid. So we have a monthly bid from them so that we can go over the 50,000. 7,500 for a WA 380.
A month?
A month.
7,500 per month?
Yep. About like hauling hay, isn't it?
I tell you what, I wish I could get away with that. Could have got away with that.
You'd still be in the business.
Yeah. That's what I told a couple guys that had other guys move for them and told me what the bill was. I said, well, you know what it tells me? I wasn't charging enough.
Right. Jensen's rental equipment. They're gonna have the same stuff. The only difference with Jensen's, they've also got dozers, excavators, loaders, compaction equipment, 45 to 50 ton capacity is 175, you know, for a truck. But they're also gonna have all the asphalt stuff bid. So they're also bidding us oil distributor, paver, actually different pavers, and then patching equipment, that kind of thing. So we should have a couple folks that are gonna bid us that stuff. That's the only difference between them and the other list, is they have a asphalt component in there. Okay, you made it. Apparently I'm doing them alphabetical. Webster scale was near the end.
Just before me.
Just right before liens, yep. That's the alphabet they taught me in Redfield. This is from Webster Scale. Remember, does not include mobilization. Okay, Webster Scale has the same kinds of things. They got dozers and excavators, loaders, scrapers, compaction equipment. 150 an hour for their 40-ton load, and then they have a 45-ton for 160, and similar to everybody else. And then they also have milling. Now, remember when we read the other milling bid? And we'll get this squared away for next year, so we don't have that other item hanging out there. We'll get the milling put in with the rental equipment, because that's how Webster Scale bid it, with the rental equipment.
And I do have interest in other counties buying off that milling bid.
Yeah. So this is recycling. This is a recycling crusher first, the thing that we're doing in the backyard that we rent for $32,500. They'll do it for $595 a ton. And that's feeding it, equipment and labor. The only thing there is it doesn't include mold. Okay.
$595?
That's $5.95 a ton.
Per ton.
Okay, so now to give you a point of reference, we make about 25,000 tons of this recycled product a year. So if we were gonna have them do it, you'd have 25,000 times about $6, and you'd be up to 150,000. So, which isn't a bad number, but when we do it, we'll use our labor, and hopefully it'll be about less than 60, 2 months rent, so we'll have 60,000 in the equipment.
But do you get that many ton then?
Yeah, we'll get the same number of ton. The tonnage is controlled by how much concrete the sidewalk guys and the curb and gutter guys brought in over the course of the year. That dictates how much we make.
Ideally, gobble it all up.
Yep. And the more, obviously, the more you can make in your 2-month period, the cheaper
Yep.
it is per ton, obviously. And then they've also got process in place. Okay, so this is what I was saying, what is actually would be compared to the Louisa bid. And the process in place for $62 or 62 cents a square yard plus mold, and then lay down and compaction of the material would be another 29 cents. What do you do the milling with?
What do we do with it?
Yeah, no, I mean the machine. What kind of machine do you have?
Dedicated, or fits up in front of a loader, or?
No, it goes right into the truck.
Okay.
For the crusher,
No, for
No.
the, I'm sorry,
For the milling.
For process, for the process in place
that's the
asphalt.
work good.
Oregon? Okay.
Okay. So it's a dedicated piece of equipment.
Yeah. Okay, you got liens left. once you get it there, it moves pretty quick. This is liens. And it should be the last one. And liens is gonna be like the other folks that got dozers, excavators, loaders, compaction equipment, 40-ton truck and pups, 190. They also, like I was saying about Jensen's, liens of course bids all the paving equipment too, and I'll figure that out. So, and bring it up in the bid tab next week. So, I would like to defer we awarded everything else, right? So I would like to defer the rental bids to next week. Move to be defer.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kifley, to defer the rental equipment bids till next week.
Anybody here that want a piece of information right away that you don't have? Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks everyone for participating. Appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Showing up.
Yeah, I know. The reason I was late is, or this note while I'm cleaning up, is we're getting another round of bad bridge money from the federal government, so this will be our third one-time money we've got for this. And as you recall, the first time that was distributed, there was a ratio they used based on, I can't even remember, but it had to do, there was a ratio in there based on how many square feet of bridge deck or how many bridges you had or something. And we got 445,000 or something out of that, and we used it to match the Hall Pit Bridge. So we used that money to match that project. We didn't have to add any more local money into it. Last year when the money came, we had to do projects. And so it was just like they created another bridge program, kind of functioning real similar to our current bridge program, but you had to submit projects. It wasn't just, here's your money, spend it on these bridges. And that's the one that we did, the Elm Lake Bridge. So last year's bad bridge money went towards the Elm Lake Bridge up there, and that'll be 24, 25 when it gets built, something like that. Okay, they're going to repeat that process, and they're going to do it like the second one, because the 21 million the state says they don't have money to match it, to turn it into local money so that we don't have to follow the federal regs. So we're going to have to submit another bridge project again. We're getting damn close to not having stuff that's going to qualify. I'm going to come up with something, but it might be, how do I say that? If this money wasn't available, I don't know for certain how soon these structures would get. I'm not saying that they would never be replaced, but in order to take them and fit them into the box that we got to fit them in to get them size and scope, right, and to get them qualify. The only one that I have a glimmer of hope for is the bridge at Warner, going west out of Warner, and that one's probably too good to qualify, but we'll see. But if that one doesn't qualify, we're going to be out. I'm just telling you, we're going to, and I'll bring it up again to make sure. But if somebody wants to run into the guardrail, yeah, exactly. But there might be some county bridges on the township roads that'll be coming in and going, hey, I know this one's kind of out there and it's been posted, but it qualifies. There's not, we're to the point right now, I think there's only one bridge, and you guys that run overweight all the time might know better, but I think there's only one bridge.
I don't anymore.
Oh, you sold that, I forgot.
Yeah.
That you can't take a semi over. I think there's only one bridge on the county system right now that's posted to semis, and I gotta be careful, I'm trying to think it through, but I don't think, the only one I think is that one north of Columbia, at Sand Lake Outlet, and we're in the process of getting that one replaced. So, you heard me say it before, but unfortunately, we spent a lot of local money taking care of ourselves instead of waiting for a handout, and now that the handouts come,
we don't qualify.
we've got too nice of cars and new shiny windows, and so I guess,
We're taking care of ourselves, and, you know, that's no guarantee either.
right, but,
And this wouldn't, there's no way that any of that money would qualify for putting a bridge in where there isn't a bridge.
boy, it might, but you're gonna have to talk a long time to me about where it is that we need another bridge that we don't have one.
All crossing.
Ah, well,
Mm-hmm.
what about the 2 million we just spent 2 miles away from there?
Well, it's not an easy
Well,
to engineer either, but...
So we'll go right back. We've
What
helped
about the-
ourselves, we've
What
helped
about the
ourselves.
1.5 just a mile up?
Yeah.
And
then
then
over
the river is.
We've helped ourselves all this time, now let's make use of some of that money.
So how much money are they talking about? I'm just curious.
Well, it's 21 million and it's gonna be competitive. So let's say that the average bridge project's $1 million. It's really super round numbers here. You might be looking at 20 bridges.
Mhm.
They did 47 last time, and I think it was a little more money. It was, you know, the pool of money, not like double, but it was like 30 million, I think. I could look and get all that.
Just curious.
And now the highway superintendents are fighting and bickering and cannibalizing ourselves, which more and more of the state things that happen, it's almost turning the counties against ourselves. You know, the townships were in trying to get county money for the frickin' culverts last year, and
They're really working this year.
yeah, and so that's been, I spent the morning responding to emails and on the phone because Spring County got 9 bridges last year. And Beetle County got 7, and they would have gotten 8, but they forgot to turn in the other application. And then some other counties down here didn't get one. We applied for one and we got one, and that's fine. So there's quite a fight now because the feds, when this money comes down, they're just looking at the state of South Dakota and they're saying, wow, the state of South Dakota has this many bridges. They don't give a crap if
You guys figured
Brookings
it out.
has 30 and Butte has 2 and Union has 4. They don't care. They're just giving the money to the state. You distribute this to address this bridge problem. And so then the highway superintendents are like, well, maybe you should only get 2 bridges. And then they start saying, well, you ignored all your stuff, the exact opposite of what I just said about us, but they're saying you ignored everything, you did all this, and now you're gonna get 9 bridge grants. I don't 100% agree with that because you don't know what the situation was at that time there, you know. So we'll see where that goes, but I'm gonna come up with a few things that I think have a snowball's chance at least of getting funded, and we'll throw them in there and see what happens.
But when pixie dust comes floating down, you better take...
Well, yeah, I
whatever
mean,
you're at.
it's, sometimes that money isn't worth it. There's some federal grants that aren't worth what you have to do to qualify for them, but this is one that is. It's just,
So does any of this fit into the Elm spillway, the bridge on the Elm spillway?
no, because, well, I act like I know all this stuff, Dennis. You shouldn't ask me so many questions.
I'm sorry, we should have talked about it earlier.
No, that's fine.
I was gonna ask the same question a little differently. Is there enough
Well-
progress on what they think the solution is?
Okay, 2 different questions here. First off, to just pitch from the hip, I don't think it would qualify. Now, if the county wanted to say that we're gonna use some of that money and our project is to remove that bridge, but I'm not really in favor of putting another frickin' $1 million bridge over the spillway up there that goes over to an outhouse and a boat landing.
Right.
See, and that's the question. What is the plan?
So,
Which could vary widely depending on...
right, and I'll come back to a few details on that. So, because that, I don't know with what we're gonna do to that bridge if it would qualify. I'll ask the question, I will find out. But the monies that are being used for that, you guys kinda know the different pieces of money they're doing with it. That's just completely in a whole nother arena than the bridge thing. And the other thing is, we're not, that Elm Lake project isn't a bridge project.
Right.
They're fixing the dam, and so we're worried about the boat landing, and we're worried about access, and we're worried about, you know, the bridge is only there because, I mean,
Future
seriously,
spillway capacity is the driving force.
that's the purpose. If you were gonna do that from scratch, say you were going out to a green project right now and we're gonna build that, you sure as hell wouldn't incorporate a bridge for $2 million that goes across and down the road a quarter mile and ends. You know what I mean? It's the leftover because of the philosophy of the WPA project at that time, is it was a big scope project, and we're gonna have this water resource, we're gonna have spillway, and have this nice ornate bridge and all that stuff.
Well, we had another one in the state that left us a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
a little farther west.
Yes. So anyway, I'm ranting and raving there a little bit, but
No, I understand.
what they should take with the dam bridge, and they should quit overcomplicating it, is you tear the bridge out and you take it over and you throw it in the freaking hole where the auxiliary spillway is, and I've been talking with them in Pier,
But it's historical somehow.
and okay, so that I hope is the answer to your question, and I'm not near as wound up as I seem about this, but when you sit down here at the bottom where we're waiting for money to fall down and trickle all the way down to the counties, and then you have to take that and pinch every freaking cent and piece of blood and whatever you can get out of it. So when I'm sitting here talking to these guys about, take this bridge, it's gonna cost you 50 grand to rip it out and haul it a half mile and throw it in a hole, well, geez, there's metal in there, and
Can't do that.
are we trying to solve the problem here, or are we trying to...
Well, it's unfortunate. It's like when Grandma passes away, and if there's nothing there, there's no fight. But if there's something
Something
there,
there,
everybody
yeah.
comes with
Yeah.
guns ablazing.
Yeah, Eastern Europe was fine until the Soviet Union fell, right? And then everybody started fighting. So anyway, way off freaking base here. Okay, so that's the answer to your question. I've been working right now, the most real-time thing I've been doing is getting historical documentation for an architect out of Mitchell.
Yep.
Yep, he's out of Mitchell.
Well, I've talked to him. I sent him your way, and I sent him to the museum too
Yep.
for documentation.
And ironically, or coincidentally, one or the other, he was looking for a document. He goes, well, I found this thing called the Lake Builders of the Prairie, but the pages in there about Elm Lake are missing. I'm like, what? Yeah, just the pages about Elm Lake are missing. I go, well, just a minute. So I go over to my bookshelf. I'm like, I think I have that book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's
I got
like
copies
3
of it.
copies, and I have one of them.
Well, I got 2 of them.
So,
I got the rest of
They've
them.
got the pages in it.
Yeah, it had
Yeah.
it, so we
Oh,
sent
sure.
that to him. I sent him stuff out of the Bridge Bible, and
So it's
I
still a
have
work
some
in
more.
progress.
yeah, so what he's working on, but if you're to the point that they must have some concept because they're going through the effort
Mhm.
to get the historical clearance to remove the
Yep.
bridge, so, yeah.
We had the same process with the old Highway 12 bridge.
Yep. I actually
Pretty
found that
similar.
file the other day.
Mhm.
We did everything, took the pictures. There's a set that's on file over at the museum and a
Yep.
set at the highway shop.
Anybody wants a piece of it, come get it.
Yep. Perfect. So, all right, I'm good.
It's good
You guys got anything
conversation.
else?
All right.
I don't think so.
All right. Get us through the day. Be cool.
Good morning, anyway.
Could I have like a personnel? I would like to just talk to the 5 commissioners. It's about me personally. It's no county policy, no county people, no nothing.
Exactly.
Is that
I know
okay
that-
for an exec? Second.
Moved by Kepley, second by Sutton, to go into exec for highway
It
superintendent
ain't bad,
personnel.
don't worry.
Is there a vote?
No.
No, a vote on.
Oh, you needed a vote on the, delaying the,
A vote to go into exec.
oh, okay, well, we never did finish the vote on the bids to
Defer
defer
the
the
next
rental, because we got interrupted on one of the deals.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
And then the exec.
and the exec?
Aye.
Aye, everybody's in favor of exec, okay.
You want me to hang up the phone?
Yes.
Yeah. We're back on.
Oh.
Out of exec, no action as a result. Our last item, which would be long ago that we have taken care of by now, is the Anna Harbor of South Dakota Department of Health quarter report. She is not available today, so she is canceled.
So it was
Is
our
there
fault.
anything else to come before the commission? Any public input?
I would like a brief exec for contract negotiations, or for contracts.
Move it, or second, I mean.
I have a motion from second by Sutton, to go into exec for contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You wanna put a legal on there, just I got a quick update.
Well, round her
And
up.
also legal.
There we go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in exec.
Okay, just north
We are
of
out of exec, with no action as a
rural
result.
fire
Kathy,
station.
Okay.
Down-
is there anything else to come before the commission today?
There's a
Move to adjourn.
property.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned till next week.